So Wendy, let's move into a discussion on influence. What's the difference between command and presence in a high-stakes environment?
I'm sure that you've experienced this, Sean. I know I have as well. Command barks, it's loud, it's authoritarian. Presence has a voice whether you're in the room or not. People can feel it. People follow presence. Presence shapes companies, presence shapes industries. And command is really based on title, role, hierarchy, and presence takes all of that away. You don't have to rely on your past success. It's not a story. It's your leadership identity that people can see and people can feel.
In our previous chat, you talked about executives having like Armour. How does that relate to command or presence?
Well, if you think about it in that metaphor, Armour prepares us for battle. And what is that about? That's about winning at all costs. When we take off the armor, it's not about winning. So if we think about it as a leader, they're there to mentor, they're there to inspire, they're there to set standards, they're there to ensure that values are in place. So when we think of armor is heavy. And that weight is akin to role and title. Those roles and titles can be heavy. They lead teams, but leading teams because of authority or command is not the same as people following, showing up, and believing in your values and your insight and your leadership identity.
So how does a leader's presence change when they no longer need to be the smartest person in the room?
The shift happens when you go from being the person who has to have all the answers or maybe wants to have all the answers to being the person that asks the questions of others. Ask the questions that change the trajectory of a company, a team, maybe even an industry.
What are the indicators that a leader's current style of influence has reached its expiration date?
There's a few telltale signs. If it's requiring more effort to keep the momentum going, then your leadership identity is probably obsolete. The moment that your influence stops feeling effortless, you've reached that ceiling.
Wendy, as you were talking about command and presence and values, and then back to Armour, I'm curious if there is a balance between the two in your experience. And if I could build off the metaphor a little bit. In my life, I've seen when leaders are able to take some of the armor off, there's that vulnerability, there is that presence, there's asking questions. But then they still need to have some of that armor on because they are the one to protect as well. And I'm just curious if you have seen leaders like that in your experience.
This is such a great question, Sean. I don't think there's one answer here. So let's think of it this way. I've actually experienced and witnessed leaders who have perpetual armor. There's armor when they are in business. There's armor when they're outside of business. They've lost their sense of leadership identity and personal identity so much that the armor is fixed. It doesn't come off. I've also seen leaders who don't wear armor. They're protected by their teams. Their teams wear the armor. They are so confident in their leadership and the buy-in from their teams that they don't feel like they need to wear their own armor. And that's what moves people forward.
And I can only imagine how light it is for that individual.
Mm-hmm. I think also with your question, can there be a balance between some sort of need to wear some armor. I think that's fair. I think that there's going to be moments where we need to show up to the proverbial battle, if you will. It could be a high stakes negotiation and you don't know who your opponent is. So maybe you do need a little bit of armor at that time, but that is singular in nature and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about who you show up to be as a leader, and you should not need armor there. You should feel so confident in your values and your identity that you know that you're inspiring those around you to follow, not because you're wearing armor, not because you hold the title, not because of force. That actually becomes a really expensive thing to maintain. If all you have to stand behind is your title and that role and what you've built and history, that's hard to maintain. That's expensive to maintain. It's persona, it's performance, and that's what we're trying to untether from a person's real identity.
And for those leaders that are wearing armor, whether it's the full or partial, what can they do about that?
Well, that's what we want to untangle. That's what my program introduces and offers, is a full untanglement of that protected performative identity. We can call it armor because metaphors are highly relatable, and I appreciate that. And we all have seen a version of that. But what it really is, removing that protective layer, figuring out where it comes from, naming it, and moving beyond it. There's opportunity there. It's not about what we're showing the world and what we've achieved, but it's where we want to go, who we really are at our core, and what we're going to do with it.